Every week, I get a message from at least one person saying, Nate, our communication sucks. We're struggling to communicate with each other. Help me out. And I will tell you that, like 9 times out of 10, people's communication issues aren't really communication issues. So, in today's episode, I want to talk to you about why your communication sucks in your marriage and how to make it better. When somebody comes to me with a communication issue, I love to ask them a couple of questions that helps them realize that what they think they need to do to make their relationship better is actually not what they need to do. For example, when a couple comes to me and they're like, we're having a hard time trusting each other, or he always gets really defensive, or she's really critical, or we won't give each other the benefit of the doubt, and we're always just fighting and really frustrated. We have communication issues. Can you help us out? I almost always ask them if there's somebody in their life with whom they don't have these problems. Do you have a best friend, a coworker, a boss, a family member, somebody in your life with whom you can communicate without the defensiveness, without the worrying about your tone of voice, without the not giving them the benefit of the doubt? And almost universally, everybody has at least one person in their life with whom they can communicate well, which to me says that most often this isn't a skills issue. Most people have the skills to communicate. And the proof of that is in the pudding. Like, there are people that you communicate with on a regular basis. So if it's not a skills problem, what is the problem? Why are you having a hard time communicating with your partner? Do you need to sit down and learn that magic phrase, when you do blank, I feel blank, and then all of a sudden everything's going to work? That's not how it works. It's not a skills problem. So what I want to talk to you about today is why your communication is struggling, why it sucks, and how you can make it better. So what most people don't know is that your communication is built on a strong foundation. The foundation that I would call friendship. And that foundation of friendship consists of 3 pillars. The first pillar is I know you. The second pillar is I like you. And the third pillar is I have your back. And I was introduced to this idea originally from, I think it was from Zach Brittle. So great job, Zach, thinking up that little phrase. I know you, I like you, and I have your back. So I want you to think about the person that you communicate really well with. Do you know them? And when I ask, do you know them, what I'm really asking is not like, do you know what their favorite color is, or do you know their name or where they live? I want to know, do you know what's going on, generally speaking, in their head, in their heart, in their life? Do you have a concern for them? Things like, do you know who the most important person in their life is right now? Do you know what's stressing them out? Do you know what they're excited for? What goals they're working on? What things they're ashamed of? Do you know what scares them? Do you know what gets them excited? Do you know what hobbies they have or what hobbies they're interested in pursuing? If you gave them $1,000 right now and told them to buy a plane ticket anywhere in the world, do you know where they would go? Like, there's all these things that contribute to us knowing somebody beyond the surface level stuff. And with our partners, oftentimes those things change over time and we forget to continue to familiarize ourselves with our partner and what's going on in their world. And when you don't know somebody, when they feel like a stranger to you, it's really easy to not give them the benefit of the doubt. It's easy to not have a lot of trust in them. It's easy to be skeptical or wary of them. And so knowing your partner is vital to having really good communication. And you would be surprised how many couples come and talk to me about their communication issues and they have not tapped into each other's I know you pillar. It's eroded over time and they don't know their partner. They've gotten busy, they've gotten distracted with kids, with work, with all the demands of life, and they have forgotten to continue to get to know their partner. Now, if you're listening to me talk about this and you're like, I know my partner, that's cake, of course. Well, then I want to talk to you about the other 2 pillars. The second pillar is the I like you pillar. I love the I like you pillar. This is oftentimes the thing that separates a partner, like a romantic interest, from everybody else because you like them an extra amount. When you like your partner, you kind of light up when they walk in the room. You look forward to the moments that you get to spend with them. You laugh at their jokes. You don't get easily annoyed with them. You want to flirt with them and you want to play with them. And you see all the things that they do and all the ways that they make your life better. It's awesome. And typically what I see is when people have a weak I like you pillar, it's because they have a lack of gratitude and appreciation in their relationship. And a lack of gratitude and appreciation can almost always be evidenced in a lack of appreciating your partner for the shoulds, the things that you have just kind of come to expect over time, whether that's them going to work and bringing home a paycheck, whether it's that they take care of household chores, whether it's the fact that they rub your feet every night or they are always the one to empty the dishwasher. Some of these things become expectations and we forget to thank our partner for them. But when we have an attitude of gratitude, it changes the lens through which we see our partner. And actually, it makes us see them more accurately. And when you appreciate your partner a lot, you tend to develop a sense of fondness and admiration towards them, and you begin to like them a lot more. So if you don't feel like you light up when your partner walks into the room, or you kind of dread the time that you're going to spend with them, if you haven't had a passionate kiss in a while, if it's been a while since you've gone on a date night, maybe there's a bit of a lack of gratitude. That's typically at the source or at the foundation of a weak I like you pillar. Now, lastly, I want to talk about the third pillar, which is the I have your back pillar. This is all about trust. Can I depend on you? Can I count on you? Will you be there when I need you most? Anybody that you communicate well with has all of these pillars in place, but especially this one. If you can't trust the person that you're in a relationship with, you're going to have a really hard time communicating with them, especially when it comes to really important things. So signs that there's a lack of trust, of I have your back in the relationship, is resistance to making promises. It can be a lot of complaining and nagging and frustrated feelings, perpetual conflict, avoidance of hard conversations. All of these are signs that you might have a little bit of a trust issue in your relationship. Now, there's a lot of ways that you can repair the I have your back pillar if you know that it's weak right now. One of the things you can do is start proactively making commitments, making agreements, and making promises and keeping those promises. But one of the smaller things that you can do is to start doing what's called turning towards your partner. Now, this is a phrase that was made popular by Dr. John Gottman, and he's a relationship researcher. And he talks about how the couples who have the most longevity, the most fulfilled couples in his research, have a habit of turning towards each other regularly. What it means to turn towards your partner is that when they make a bid to connect with you, could be anything big or small, whether it's, telling you a joke, sending you a text, reaching out to hold your hand, giving you a hug, telling you you look nice, sharing an article with you, any sort of bid to connect with you. When you turn towards them, that's a positive deposit in your emotional bank account. Now, the couples who have the most kind of unhappy relationships and they have a really weak I have your back pillar, those people tend to miss a lot of their partner's bids for connection, typically because they are either on a screen, whether it's TV or the computer or their phone, or they're just constantly distracted and not paying attention. And this can be really, really damaging. The ratio that Dr. Gottman talks about is the happiest couples have roughly a 20-to-1 ratio of positive to negative interactions on a day-to-day basis. And during times of conflict, that ratio drops down to about 5-to-1. Whereas the most miserable couples, the couples who end up kind of despising each other and divorcing each other, resenting each other a lot, being angry a lot, they have roughly a 1-to-1 ratio of positive to negative interactions. So the positive interactions, the turning towards your partner 20 times for every one, that's a hugely important factor in creating a strong foundation for your relationship, specifically when it comes to the I have your back pillar. So if you are having communication problems, if you are struggling to give each other the benefit of the doubt, if you're having the same arguments over and over again, if you're feeling constantly defensive whenever your partner brings up a hard topic, or if you're finding yourself being critical of your partner and complaining about them all the time and only seeing the negative, I want to invite you to think about these 3 pillars of friendship that your communication is built on. I know you, I like you, and I have your back. And then think to yourself, which one of those pillars is weakest, and focus for just the rest of this week, focus on doing one thing every day to strengthen that pillar and see if it makes a difference. I guarantee you it will. Because when I know you, I like you, and I have your back pillars are strong, you have everything you need to have impeccable communication with your partner. And I would even go as far to say that if you examine the relationship that you have with the person with whom you can communicate well, all of those 3 pillars are present and strong. So chew on that for a little bit, and I hope it comes in useful in helping you solve your communication problems that are not really communication problems. If you enjoyed this video, I want to invite you to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Why? Because every week I come out with a brand new video to help you create a ridiculously awesome marriage. So if you want a ridiculously awesome marriage, this is the channel to subscribe to. I hope you check it out, and I have a couple other videos that I think you would like if you enjoyed this one, which you can watch here or here, somewhere on this screen.